Alright guys, so we're kind of down here by the backpacking campsites. They have a lot of them all in here. I don't know, I think I might just take this one for right now. Just because it's fairly flat and there's not a whole lot of roots and stuff like that. I don't really plan on having a fire or anything like that. I might. I'm sure this place is really picked over as far as woods go, you know, but they're all back in there. And then out here by the road, looks like they've got sites on the other side too. It looks like somebody is down there. So maybe I'll camp over there. Anywho, so we'll go check out this, I think it's Round Prairie. It's a little small loop and it's a nature area, so maybe it'll be a little bit more trail and less, you know, just kind of hard packed. Although this one's not too bad too. But I like that one because I can park right in front of it. I'm kind of car camping, and you know, I didn't bring a backpack to haul anything in, so, and I did bring extra insulation because it is supposed to get down. That one's nice in there. It is supposed to get down to mid-20s, I think, tonight. So very chilly for sure. And I have a 20-degree quilt, so I'll be adding a little bit extra. But we are down, I think, right in there. So there you go. And this is where what it gets weird is, so you have the different classes, you know, class D, class C, that sort of stuff. So it's $8 normally. On a holiday though, it says any day, no exceptions, but the guy told me I don't need a tag, so if they come after me, I have $8 for them. I tried to give them money, but anyway, so the thing is the map does not show, like here you go, the map doesn't show all these different classes. It says kind of where they are, but it doesn't show what the class is on the map. So when you come in to the different areas, you'll have a big sign like that, and it'll say this is a camp or a class C campsite and that sort of thing. So anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling and we're gonna go over to the prairie area. I'm on this little round prairie trail, and they have the state champion winged elm. I don't know if that's it or not. It does not look very big, but apparently the winged elm only gets to about 1.5 feet in circumference, and this one is 5, so that's fancy, and that must be it. They do give you this little walk, self-guided tour. You know, kind of shows you different stations and things like that, and you can learn a little bit about it. Nice little interpretive trail. We're just going around this giant sandstone knob here, which is like 250 to 300 million years old. See, I learned something. And that's a winged elm, apparently. So the hope is that perhaps tomorrow, during tomorrow's festivities, we will find the champion tree for cypress. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but apparently it's in the area where I'm going. And that's the only hint I'll give you until the next day. So underneath this super cool rock formation is the only spring that is in the Round Bluff Nature Preserve, according to my little piece of paper. But I'm not going to tell you about that little piece of paper so you think that I'm smart and I knew that this was the only spring in here. But it's hard to believe that that's the only spring in this area. You know, when you come to Missouri, you've got more springs than you can shake a stick at, which is kind of one of the reasons why Missouri is kind of referred to as a spring state as well, because there's just so many, especially down in the Ozark area. It's a neat little cave up in there. Oh wow, look at this nice little crevice. That's super cool. Just come right around the corner, and that's neato. There's probably a mountain lion or a bear or a chupacabra living in there. But that's pretty cool. Now you will get cave seeps where water kind of comes out of the side of the sandstone. And when I was hiking the Garden of the Gods to the Lusk Creek area, I had to get water from one of those cave seeps or rock wall seeps. It was basically dripping from the ceiling, and that's where it was. I was using a gravity filter, if I remember correct, and it took forever and a day. And I think there was coyotes involved. It was terrifying. Okay guys, I'm back at the backpackers campsite. So over there is a trail that goes out. That's the Happy Hollow loop. Apparently that's 8 miles. I'm not sure, but that may actually connect up onto the river to river trail on the back side. Anyway, if you are hiking the river to river trail, Fern Clyffe was the sort of the place that I was using as the halfway mark. And I did my food drop into Goreville, which is really only about 3/4 to a mile from the park. Now, if you go out the main park entrance and you cross over the highway very carefully, there is a, on the other side of the highway, there's sort of a bike path that'll take you most of the way, so you don't have to walk right next to the highway. That's kind of nice. After that, I don't really know what to do. I think you're kind of on your own on the side of the highway. But Goreville has a gas station that has sort of a deli in it. I didn't stop there, but I think they have alcohol. I did stop there to get gas, but I didn't buy any food. They also have a Subway. And so the closest thing I was able to find to a cheeseburger and a Coke was a steak and cheese and a Mr. Pibb. So there you go. They had Coke, but since I didn't get the cheeseburger, I figured I'd get the Mr. Pibb. Anyway, we're going to woof that up, and then we're going to set up camp here. And then we're going to go scrounge for some wood, because I'll need something to do. And that's what we'll do. I wanted to get camp set up, though, before the sun went down. It is going to be chilly tonight, and I did bring my extra coat. My big winter coat that I normally wear at home. But since I'm car camping, I can bring extra stuff. So, there you go. There it is, the old Hubba Hubba NX. Set up without the fly. Because it's easier to put stuff inside without your fly. You know? I really do like this tent. With the fly, it does have a fairly wide footprint. You know? But, it is a really nice tent. Just replace the stakes, because they really do suck. Although, you know, say what you will about Illinois, I can actually put the stakes in with my foot, and I didn't need to hammer them in. So that's something over in Missouri, which is all rocks. So let's talk about cold weather camping. So since I'm car camping, I can bring some extra stuff. If I was backpacking, it would probably be just these two things, which is my Xtherm Large and Thermarest Xtherm Large. There you go. That's the whole spiel. And then this is my Enlightened Equipment's 20-degree quilt. And I have an extra ounce of down stuffed inside of that to give it a little bit more insulation. But since I am car camping and I wasn't sure what kind of terrain I was going to have, I figured, well, if I'm car camping, I'll bring my little ridge rest there. A ridge rest will not keep you warm in the winter. It has a very low R value. You can double them up, things like that. But really, you know, you want a good insulated mat. A couple ridge rests put together are a lot better, and they are light and cheap, so you could double up on them. Some Reflectix underneath you, one of those car windshields, will be a nice mat as well. You got to look at the R value. The R value is how much that's going to keep you warm from the ground, and that's where you're going to lose a lot of heat. The Xtherm is a 5.7. I think this is like a 2. So, you know, you'd have to really kind of double them up. So some extra things. I brought the pause blanket, which is a bit small, but it adds a little bit of insulation between. I like to flip it over, like a reverse quilt, if you will. And then I'll have that nice fuzziness against the Xtherm there. And I also brought, just in case that I could drape over myself, is a Whoopee. That is a poncho liner, military poncho liner. Those are super cheap, and they're useful. They're heavy, but if you're car camping, then, you know, you can bring extra stuff. You can go to Goodwill and, you know, find you some cheap down comforters and stuff them in there, and if they get eaten by a bear, then you don't care, because, you know, it is what it is. You know, you can also buy cheap down comforters at Goodwill and make your own quilts. So, but that's a whole nother ball of wax, ball of worms, ball of wax, bag of monkeys. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna stuff all that stuff in, and I did bring a pillow because I'm car camping and I could use a pillow. Typically, I would use the sweatshirt that I bring, stuff everything up into the hood, and then use that as the pillow. It's not as comfortable, but if you're backpacking and you're conserving weight, then it's a multifunction item. Whereas an inflatable pillow, yes, it's going to be a lot more comfortable, is a single-use item for the most part, unless you're able to sit on it and use it like a sit pad. So, you know, so there's that. Also a sit pad, you know, if you bring a sit pad, use that and stuff it underneath your inflatable, whatever you're using as your mattress, and that'll add a little bit extra warmth. Just put it underneath your torso. If you're in a hammock and you've got like a 3/4 length under quilt, then you can use that like Shug style and stick that up underneath your feet too. So there's a lot of different things that you can do that would make them multi-use items, and they're useful in cold weather camping. You know, so this is a 20 degree. In theory, that's going to be good down to about probably maybe at the max 25. You know, you really kind of, it just depends on what kind of a sleeper you are. But, you know, so I think, you know, much below 20 and I'm going to have to either get a new quilt or really, really double it up. All right, guys. So I'm all set up here. You can see that I'm using the pad straps. I have it going through both pads. Now I'll need to add a little bit more air to my inflatable once I'm ready for bed. In cold weather, you're gonna have to add a couple extra breaths if you you know, if you have an inflatable, just because the air will shrink down a bit. So quick tip, campsite courtesy: if you know that someone is camping over there and your headlights come on when you unlock your car, point them that direction. It's just a nicety. You know, things like, you know, before you go to bed and turn off your cell phone, mute it. That way when you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you want to play Angry Birds and you turn your phone on, that sound of it turning on doesn't wake everybody else up nearby. So just some things. So I did meet the neighbors, and they apparently were cold last night, so they went and got a propane heater. So those are kind of scary. You got to be careful that you keep an eye on those. You know, you want to get the kind that don't tip, and you also want to get the kind that either have a built-in carbon monoxide or you bring one, because that could be a bit deadly. That's the youth campground over there. This is a Baco Laplander. And you can bet what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to check out that tree right there, but it's probably a bit rotted. You know, the ground is a little wet and muddy, so the problem is we technically can't cut anything. So, you know, there's probably some dead standing in here that would be useful. But I'll try to find some things, and if not, it's not a huge deal. I have a Kindle. You know, I don't necessarily need the fire. There's some stuff on the ground back here, so let's see if it's any good.